Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'd like to call the meeting of the St. Clair County Board of Commissioners Human Services Committee to order, and I'd ask that you please stand me and join for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner McConnell.
Here.
Commissioner Tamian. Commissioner Heidemann. Here. Commissioner Dunn.
Here.
Commissioner Rushing.
Here.
Commissioner Graytop.
Here.
Commissioner Bohm.
Item number 2, additions, deletions, changes to the agenda.
Motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Citizens to be heard. Are there any citizens to be heard on the Human Services Committee tonight? Seeing none, we will move on to updates. Seeing none, conceptual initiatives. Nothing tonight. Old business, nothing. New business, we are asking to approve a library appointment to Miss Arlene Mercetti.
Make a motion that we send this on to the full board.
I would support.
Yes, sir.
Arlene is from Yale. She's a retired school teacher. She's been involved with the library for quite some time. Very energetic and does a great job, and she's wanting to continue. So I think she's a great fit.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate that update. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Other human service matters? Seeing none. Information only, St. Clair County Health Department, July points of interest.
Make a motion to receive and file St. Clair County Health Department July points of interest.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Receive and file?
Make a motion to receive and file.
Or,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Adjournment?
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It took you so long.
Yeah, that was long.
Greg's up.
Judiciary.
Beat that one, Greg. 1 minute. They get 2. What time he delivered?
Call to order the St. Clair County Board of Commissioners Judiciary and Public Safety Committee meeting. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bohm. Commissioner Graytop.
Here.
Commissioner Rushing.
Here.
Commissioner Dunn.
Yes.
Commissioner Heidemann. Here. Commissioner Tamian. Commissioner McConnell.
Here. Any additions, deletion, or changes to the agenda?
Motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Support?
We have motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Any citizens to be heard? Seeing none, any updates? Conceptual initiatives? None. Any old business? There's none presented. New business, 2016 Emergency Management Performance Grant Agreement. This is a grant that's been in for quite a few years. I think it shows back to 2007. The money is used to pay for emergency management.
Make a motion we present it to the full board.
Or,
We have motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Is there any other judiciary and public safety matters at this time? Seeing none. Information only, the Fort Gratiot Township Resolution, Drug Task Force millage, as well as another one from Blue Water Area Chamber of Commerce.
Mr. Chair, I move that we receive and file the 2 reports.
Support?
We have motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Receive and file.
Make a motion to receive and file.
Second.
We have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Move we
Support.
Motion and support. All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
I think you did it.
Thank you.
I think you did it. You don't want to get up and walk that over?
I was behind the wall for the pledge.
I saw that.
like to call the St. Clair County Board of Commissioners Environmental and Public Works Committee meeting to order. At this time, could we take roll?
Commissioner McConnell,
Here.
Commissioner Tamian, Commissioner Heidemann,
Here.
Commissioner Dunn,
Here.
Commissioner Rushing,
Here.
Commissioner Greatham.
Here.
Commissioner Bohm.
This time, I would like to have the, deleted from the agenda, the landfill trafficking software.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Support.
Moved and supported. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All, I would move for the approval of the agenda as amended.
Make a motion to the amended agenda.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Any citizens to be heard regarding environmental public works matters? Seeing none. Any updates? We have one from the St. Clair County District.
Hello, Commissioners. We're happy to give an update. My name is Charlie Lewis. I'm a farmer from North Street and president of the St. Clair County Soil Conservation District. We have Tracy Kunish, whose position was funded by your generous grant 3 years ago. Christina Nicola, who's the Natural Resource Conservation Specialist from the federal government, and Joe Couts, who is the chairman of the Sanilac County and St. Clair County Soil Conservation District. And we would like to give a brief presentation as to what we've accomplished over the last 3 years since we have reopened our Soil Conservation District. I'd like Christina and Tracy to come up first.
Good evening. Just reporting from our 2016 funding year, we worked with nearly 35 applicants this past year, generating 48 contracts, with some of those applicants being multiple contracts. With those 48 contracts, we asked for funding for almost nearly, over $2 million, covering close to 6,000 acres over the county. From that, our contracts approved, which we did receive funding on, were 33 contracts, just over $1 million, covering 3,500 acres throughout the county. This allocated $1 million throughout St. Clair on a wide variety of conservation activities, some of them being cover crops, integrated pest management, and nutrient management, up to 3,000 acres, which is a huge impact on our environment.
Tracy,
Yes.
you had 48 contracts and 33 approved. What happens to those other contracts?
Actually, Christina will be touching on that here shortly.
Sorry, didn't mean to get ahead of you then.
Oh, no. Excuse me.
So what Tracy was looking at, you guys have in front of you there. I'm going to provide an update because after that was given out to you guys, we did receive additional funding. What happens is, as they work through the applications, there's like a first round. If they haven't used up all the money, then they'll go back and take a look at the applications that weren't funded. So of those that weren't funded, we did receive an additional amount of money. They had 4 more applications funded out of what was left, for a total of over $900,000. So they were they were the 3 biggest contracts that I had that did get the extra funding. The ones that still haven't been funded at this point, they will have the opportunity to apply again next year, and we'll see if they get selected then. Depending on exactly how our ranking goes and things, they could actually have a boost in their ranking the following year and have better chance of getting funded. Let's see. So that covers like our funding. In addition, I just wanted to touch upon the people we're already working with for next year. So we have 20 people on our list this year that we've started with. There was another, I think at least 12 that had come in after what we call our conservation planning sign-up period. And if we get to them before the end of our field season, we'll be able to work them into the next year's funding as well. So 20-some people plus whoever got left over from last year will most likely compete next year.
Any other questions for any of the members there, Christina or Tracy. Charlie?
I was just gonna say,
What's
Joe wanted to speak for a second, and I also wanted to say, in addition to, like the cover crops and that, some of these, the funding is for buildings and, chemical storage buildings and stuff like that to protect the environment. So not only does money go to farmers, but the farmers also, spend it on local contractors and local builders to build structures for them, grass waterways and things of that nature also.
Like, yes, what's a cover crop?
Cover crop is a crop that is, correct me if I'm wrong, it's planted for its nutrient value or to stop soil erosion. It's not planted and taken to harvest and taken to
Right,
market.
so would I be in, like radishes, if you put that after a winter wheat comes in, you're gonna plant it and all it's gonna do is get tilled under. There's gonna be no yield of the crop itself.
Correct. Correct.
And good evening. As you guys know, I'm Joe Couts, and I'm the manager. We come to you guys a few years ago where we created this partnership between the St. Clair and the Sanilac Conservation Districts to bring stability to both conservation districts, really, with the shortfalls in funding and so forth. So I wanted to touch upon kind of how we've grown and where that's gone to. Tracy's actually a new technician. We had Megan, and she's been out actually on maternity leave. But Tracy has done an excellent job helping bring a lot of this funding that would elsewhere, it's federal funding that would go elsewhere without her help with that. But it's also spurred the whole Michigan Agriculture Environmental Assurance Program. We have a meat technician, and he's pretty overworked trying to meet the demand of, the farmers are trying to be certified by the state to meet those environmental laws too. And another thing that's been created out of this, and just to refresh you guys, we get $5,000 over the 3 years from you guys, as well as Macomb County, and then as well as the conservation kicks in for a total of like $15,000 each year, and then the federal government pays for the rest of the position. But it's also spurred a full-time position paid for by the federal government through NRCS and the Department of Agriculture of the state. And basically what it's created is a technical assistance. Now that we've created these contracts, there's 5 years that somebody has to implement those and offer the guidance. Christina and Tracy, they don't have the time to do that, so it's created another position that essentially we are housing down in the USDA office here in St. Clair County. So there's some good things that have happened. Like I said, we've had 12 meat verifications of different farms this year, with another 5 that are pending. So there's some good things going with that. Last year, I talked with you guys, we were in the midst of adding a wildlife biologist too, and his demand with the recreation or trying to create lands for private hunting and public hunting, he's covering Sanilac, St. Clair, and a little bit of Lapeer County, I should say. But he's meeting with 50 landowners down here, 50 up there, and so forth. So he's quite in demand too. And he's also helping identify with private lands going towards these invasive species. He's there to help them identify what that stuff is to try to remove it. So that's another great new service that has been added. That's been funded through the Department of Agriculture as well. So things for us are growing, and as I reiterated, things are going well with this partnership too. So, and then finally, with Tracy's help in the office, when that tree sale comes around in the springtime, there's a ever-growing demand for that, reforestation program or the 5-acre parcels. It's a really overwhelming, work-wise for that couple weeks, through the month of April that we do that. We begin that campaign in January, and it really doesn't calm down after. We have mistakes and this and that. It doesn't calm down really till the end of May. And
Got a question, Joe?
Yep.
And just my perception of referencing Department of Agriculture and federal funding, I always look at it isn't their funding, it's monies that were collected. However they got the revenues, it came from here, and without Tracy's efforts, or I believe she's the one that's involved with this, to get some of the tax dollars that we paid in, that ended up in Washington. It comes back here. Without your efforts, those dollars would not be coming back here. And your report's showing over $2 million have been done. Without your efforts, that would not be coming back into St. Clair County.
Well, that's just St. Clair, it's a shared between St. Clair and Macomb, because that's how the US, but a lot of these farmers are, it's hard to split it out because there's so much inter-county farming going on between, St. Clair and Macomb counties down there. But they are very much impressed with what we've done, and they're very supportive of us. In fact, we've kind of created a partnership with the commissioners in Macomb County, and also with the conservation district down there, because it's basically failed as well. So we're trying to somehow figure out a way of how to service that area, through our office and working with, but they're very supportive of what we're doing as well. So, Charlie's got a few other things. If you had other questions for me, please ask. We just want to show you the successes that we've had, and taking the little bit of funding we've had, we've really turned it in. Actually, I hope it portrays to even property taxes that the county collects through some of these structures and other things too. So,
Joe, I have one little question. Do you need to make a match on any of these to get these federal grants, or are they?
yeah, and we'll talk about that in a second, but we are in the third, when I proposed this to you, this was a 3-year grant for this particular position. Typically, they were a 50-50, like they wanted local contribution of 50%, and then the federal NRCS would provide 50% of the funding. We wrote a hardship letter at the time, and we got that reduced. When I put the proposal together, it was 75% NRCS and then 25% local funding, which I pieced together between the districts, through our fundraisers, the county of St. Clair County and Macomb County. So where Charlie was going to talk about, we know that this is coming to an end next year. We don't want it to end. We see good things come out of it. We've taken that office, picked it up, and it almost started from zero again to look at the numbers coming in. But I guess I'll have to try to negotiate with NRCS, see where that lands, but typically they're 50-50. So when we come back and present with you guys again, I don't know where that funding would land today. But as I put a proposal together, I'm going to try and get that back to a 25%, but that may be a possible 50-50 scenario depending on what they say. So yes, there is local contribution.
Yeah, I've always kind of wondered about that, at least with the federal grant for conservation, why they would expect locally that you match that, That's pretty hard to come up with.
It is. The reason is I think they want, NRCS has a different philosophy that conservation districts brought them to the area. So they look for that local support. And that was really one of the key reasons of keeping the St. Clair Conservation District open, is because NRCS could choose to not, to basically leave St. Clair County because they would consider it non-local support.
Yeah,
And that was kind of how the philosophy of NRCS
You're saying
is.
if we didn't get these dollars, that some of these dollars might end up in Nebraska instead?
Yeah, we don't want it in Nebraska.
Nobody wants anything in Nebraska, do we, Howard?
Is there anything in Nebraska?
Howard?
Charlie, did you want to?
But there has to be local support to keep the office open. We've got a great NRCS agent here, but the federal government won't keep her here if we don't have the local support, which is the Soil Conservation District. And then no tax dollars that go out from the county will come back through any of these programs.
So,
Okay, any other questions?
Yeah,
For either Joe?
Charlie, you had something?
yeah.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to thank you guys for your support these last 3 years, and hopefully in the future, when we figure out how to keep the grant going, you'll see that we have a really good thing going in the office. The two of them raise money like mad for us and bring it back to the county and provide jobs in the county for everyone.
And you need another person for one of the positions?
Well, no, we don't, actually, we kind of promoted our meat technician to do the C-tie, because he had
Which is the engineering type stuff.
yeah, and he had a lot of the certifications to look at the nutrient management and sign off on it, and the pest management and so forth for NRCS already. because there's a whole bunch of training to go through. So then we did advertise for a new meat technician. And actually, we got lucky, the meat technician, which is probably the best in the state, out of Huron County, applied for it. So we'll house him, you know, his main station will be in Sanilac, but he'll cover St. Clair and Sanilac counties. But he's already trained and should do us a very good job with it. Because he understands, I think, even the laws on the fuel barrels and all that. So, and I think that's gonna be an upcoming issue with fuel storage on these farms. So,
Excellent. Any other questions for anyone? Charlie, Joe?
The only other thing that I have to do is have to invite all of you personally to our River Cruise 2016. It will be the 18th of August.
That's the night of our full board meeting.
Oh,
Thanks for the invite, Joe.
yeah, it's just over at the yacht club, and then Huron Lady up and down the river, and
Thanks for the invite.
you're welcome.
Okay.
in the end, we have reached out to the road commission and the drain commission, because, you know, our overall goal, it's not, you know, a lot of it does build on economics. But our overall goal is to try to reduce soil erosion, work with some of these watershed plans and so forth. And we know a lot of it is agriculture, and this is our best avenue where we can bring, you know, farms into compliance, or the best that we can do. So I guess that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate your support.
Good. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, conceptual initiatives, no, any updates from commissioners? Seeing none, any conceptual initiatives? None from administration? No old business? New business has been deleted. We have the Smiths Creek landfill activities report. I would entertain a motion to receive and file that report.
So moved.
It has been made and moved. Seconded.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Any other environmental works? Seeing none. Information only, we have the Park and Recreation financial documents, the monthly financial documents from Park and Rec, the Blue Water Chamber of Commerce letter regarding the Road Commission millage. Good news there is that all of those millages passed, Park and Rec millage, with, I believe, almost 70%, just smidgen shy. That's overwhelming support for that, and
Well, that's the millage, if I could, where we get a lot of federal funding, up to 95%. So if we have a easy math, $5,000 or $100,000 job, federal government will provide $95,000, and the local match $5,000 up to that.
yeah. And if you don't have the money, that
Yeah,
federal.
we did a bridge in Riley Township when it first came out, and the cost of the bridge was in excess of $800,000, and the federal government covered 95%.
By the way, that road millage was over 80%, you said?
I don't know the count, so.
I don't think it was that high.
Veterans was over 80.
Veterans. Okay,
The rest of them were right around 70, 60, 70.
yeah. Great
Make a motion,
support.
we receive and file.
Okay, it's been
Support.
moved and supported. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to adjourn.
So moved. Support.
We are adjourned.
This time I'd like to call the Ways and Means Committee to order. Can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Baum. Commissioner Greatop.
Here.
Commissioner Rushing.
Here.
Commissioner Dunn.
Here?
Commissioner Heidemann.
Here.
Commissioner Tamian. Commissioner McConnell.
Here.
Okay, at this time, any additions, deletions, or changes to the agenda?
I move we approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. Do we have any citizens wishing to be heard? Seeing none, we'll move to updates. Do we have any updates? Seeing none, conceptual initiatives. We have none. Go to old business. There is none. New business, 7A, the cooperative office supply agreement with Office Depot. You all had a chance to look at that?
Make a motion, we send it on to the full board.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. 7B, the Honeywell IVAC building management conversion expansion. And we have building department here, so you would.
Good evening. We're here today looking for support from the board on a Honeywell expansion conversion for our building management system. In a nutshell, the building management system is a computerized mechanism that helps us control the heating, cooling, ventilation in 4 of our sites. Currently, this system that controls 3 of our buildings, administration building, courthouse, and the intervention center, is over 20 years old. And the software is becoming increasingly hard to find replacement hard parts for. We're actually moving to eBay and trying to find replacement parts as these parts fail. So in the world of technology, 20 years it might as well be 200 years. So what we tried to do is work with Honeywell, who is very proprietary, and with the help of Rick Way from IT and a couple of others, work to formulate a plan to move to a program that will not only enhance our current coverage, but provide us long-term support for any software or hardware part issues. I did ask Rick to come tonight if you had any real techie questions. They were way over my head on that one. But a few of the things that we will benefit from was we currently have 1 building that's on a standalone system that was built after the other 3 were in place, and that's the day treatment night watch building, and that operates on a different platform, the LAN platform, and Rick can address that for you. But the other 3 buildings that I mentioned earlier will be coming all into 1 virtual server. Am I saying that correctly? That will allow us to remove all of the hard computers that we currently have at sites that manage these buildings. So we'll be able to access from any computer within the county's network and manage our building management system from there. So we will no longer need to support hard computers at each site. They will be gone and they will be backed up and supported every day. That's it in a nutshell.
What, these computers, you say they operate the systems, the heating systems, the cooling systems,
Yes.
door locks, anything?
No, that's a standalone system, a key
Is it
scan
just the heating
system,
and
no.
cooling?
It's just heating, cooling, and ventilation.
Okay, thank you.
Say that on this is gonna become from Maintenance Public Improvement Fund, so it won't be out of the general fund. See, it's not to exceed the amount of $53,974.
We did ask for a separate proposal, which was about $1,500 less, but it only supported Windows 2008, and for $1,500, we were able to get a 4-year newer car. So long-term, and I'm sure Rick would support this, it was better for the county to look to move to the 2012 platform than the 2008.
Good, stay up there. Could I have a motion to forward this to the full board?
Motion?
Support.
Second. Any other further discussion or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ron.
Thanks.
This time, do we have any other Ways and Means Matters? Seeing none, moving on to information only. Have none. Can I have a motion to receive and file packets?
So moved.
Support?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We stand adjourned.